Hello, Eric Eisenhut here from GK Icon Academy's panel discussions. We have a great topic today and some very special guests. First, I want to introduce our GK Icon Pittsburgh goalkeeper coach, Sam Gribowicz. Sam is a director of goalkeeping at a local club and is also the goalkeeper coach for the California University of Pennsylvania women's soccer team. Our special guest today, I am very, very excited for this, is we have with us Saskia Weber. Saskia was a member of the 1999 World Cup champion United States women's soccer team. She was with the national team for 8 years. Currently, she is the goalkeeper coach for the UCLA Bruins women's soccer team. And also with us, we have Laurie Pells George. Laurie has been coaching in the NCAA for 18 years, 15 of those years in the ACC with Clemson and the University of Maryland. She's currently the owner of Pells Goalkeeper School, and she's also with ODP at the national, regional, and state levels. I could talk about their bios forever. I know that, and I promised them I wouldn't because I would like to get into this topic. How are you ladies doing today?
Lockdown's going great.
Yeah, we're great. I'm hanging out in the basement.
Let's see. Yesterday I had an earthquake, a power outage. It's all good.
Life in LA, right? Well, thank you guys. Today's topic is literally the future direction of women's soccer, women's goalkeeper coaches, and women's goalkeepers in general. So I'm just going to jump right into it. Laurie, I want to start with you, if I may.
Okay.
Where do you see the direction of the current status and the future direction of women's soccer here in the United States, especially with the recent announcement of the DA and the movements that happened last week?
Yeah, it's very unfortunate what's going on with the DA. Totally to take that opportunity away from the kids, as many of them left the ECNL and went to the DA for this opportunity. So I completely, feel bad for them. Prior to the COVID-19, I think women's soccer was booming. I think with the Women's Professional League doing great. At the time, the DA and the ECNL, everything was booming. So I thought the direction of women's soccer was fantastic. With that being said, I still think when this pandemic is over, I still think it's going to start up again, and it's going to be fantastic. It's an amazing sport. It's an amazing team sport. And I really think it's going to get back to where it was again after the COVID-19 settles for a little bit. So I think it's going to be all right. We're going to be okay.
Good. Saskia, your comments, please.
I think when people are deprived of something, it comes back stronger. So I think that we all miss sports. We do. And I know how much I miss soccer. I miss waking up on Sundays and putting on whatever game and watching the women play and watching the men play, watch EPL, watch the MLS and everything. And I think that, it's all giving us a pause to evaluate things and be safe, of course. I don't think anything negative will happen to women's soccer. I think women's soccer has been such a juggernaut here in the United States for so long. Like I said, I think it's missed. And when it comes back, it'll come back stronger. If you look on Instagram and everything, the girls are active and they're reaching out and they're keeping themselves involved. Will we miss major tournaments? Will we miss games and stuff? Yes, but when they come back, they'll come back full force. And I think it's also giving all our female players a time to learn a different side of soccer. And Pells, you know this, and I'm sure you guys both know this. Like now we have kids analyzing videos and doing things that they might not have done before in their club programs and everything. Where I just gave my goalkeepers. They have to analyze all 16 saves of Timmy Howard against Belgium. And so, and when I say analyze, I mean break it down. And we're going to have a Zoom conversation about that. And before, I never did that before with them. And so I think that it's opening up a new page in soccer for us as coaches on the women's side and the men's side to teach. And I just think it'll be better.
I agree with that. Sam, what differences do you see at the academy levels now that we have to rely on a different form of coaching?
Well, I've seen a lot more creativity, like you were referring to. We have to find new ways to still be able to coach and teach. And as players, they need to find new ways to learn, and a lot of it's by themselves. So I think, and from what I've seen and what I've been doing, is just trying to put or make those players aware of as much information as we can. It's all out there for free. You know, everybody can access it. So just absorb as much as you can. I definitely think players are watching games more now, like she was saying, because there's not much else we can do. We're trying to get as much soccer as we can. And a lot of that's coming in the form of watching games, watching replays, pretty much anything we can get our hands on. And I think that's awesome. It is definitely bringing another side of the game that's often overlooked, even at the younger ages too.
We did a great one today with the UCLA girls where we had, we're set up into teams and groups, and they had to come up with their dream lineups against, we gave them a formation that they had to come up with a dream lineup against. And it wasn't just like picking players and putting on paper. It was like, then it had to be broken down into why defensively is this the best lineup? Why offensively is this the best lineup? And I know this is another level, not a club level, but it can be. And so now it's the time for goalkeeper coaches, female goalkeeper, to step up and teach. It's not about going on the field and, like setting up some cones and kicking a bunch of balls. Now we're going to test your chops right now. Like, can you teach? Can you explain these things? Can you break things down? Can you answer these questions? Are you a student of the game? Ourselves. And I think it's just going to help. Yeah.
Laurie, I want to go to you and continue with what Saskia was talking about, the female goalkeeper coach, and education in particular. I'm a big believer in life lessons and just teaching life lessons and applying it to the soccer field, if that makes sense. Laurie, what's your goalkeeper coach from philosophy, and where do you see the women's goalkeeper coach in the United States?
Oh, where's my philosophy? I don't really have a set philosophy when it comes to what we should look for in a goalkeeper coach. I think everybody's unique in their own way. Saskia, Sam, and I we're similar, but our personalities could be unique in different ways. So I think it's to the goalkeeper coach to bring out the best in each of these players. My philosophy could be a little bit different than Saskia's, and that's okay. Could be a little bit different than Sam's, and that's okay.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. But I think we don't want to be completely giving false information. Correct. Now, I know Saskia and I come from the same background with Tony the Chico. So we are teaching the same concepts, and that is important. And I think overall, I would hope that all of us are teaching the same concepts, maybe maybe it's presented in a different way, but we hope that we're all teaching the same concepts. My philosophy when I coach is I want to have fun and I want to work hard. I don't care if you're 8 years old or a college student. We're going to have fun. We're going to work hard and get the job done. We're not going to fool around. We're not going to take 20 minutes to stretch. We're going to get in, out, punch in our cards, go to work the old school way. And that's my philosophy, and I'm only hoping that the younger goalkeeper coaches out there are doing that as well. Because I know the older goalkeepers like ourselves, have that mentality because we were brought up that way. And that's what I try to bring to the goalkeepers that I work with.
Well, I think also, Laurie, we weren't handed things.
Yeah.
You and I both know that, goalkeeper coaches weren't a dime a dozen, and they weren't in every town, in every area. So we had to figure out ways to train. We had to find it. We had to go search it out. We had to train ourselves. And now with this situation, all these keepers have to figure that out too. They're at home and they have to figure out how to train themselves. And to what you were saying before, there's a lot of stuff online. There's a lot of crap online. And I'm going to be very honest with you. There's a lot of bad videos. There's a lot of just bad coaching. So as for us, as coaches that can reach out to our kids and reach out or have them reach out to us, let's filter the right things to them And look, I'm not saying like mine and Laurie's philosophy, yes, we grew up in the same bubble and stuff, but I'm not saying that's the right way, but let's find the quality in what's going on online and not like the random quantity of it.
Yeah.
You know?
I also came from the Soccer Plus and the Stars Goalkeeper Academy, Dan and Tony. And one of the things from Tony that I use all the time, catch them being good, coach them being good. And especially with younger kids, it really, that positive reinforcement goes such a long way. And excuse me, I just think that's just important in life in general. Like, as a parent, I mean, Laurie, yourself included, like I use that philosophy all the time. I mean, trust me, it's hard on occasion. It really is, but it is great to do it. And you see the reward because they're instantly satisfied. They look to do it again.
Sure. Yeah.
Hey, Sam, do you find that like you have like a lot of your players reaching out just to ask like questions about like, oh, I'm doing this training video and like, I'm really not sure and stuff like that? Do you find yourself mentoring them on the videos themselves and like looking at the videos, breaking them down, like, because I have like my kids, like for Bulls, they're doing the technique app right now, which listen, love it, think it's great and stuff like that. But again, when I make my kids send me their videos, at least a minute clip and everything, couple minute clips, so I can see what they're doing. Because if we're not looking at them in some way, like, Finn the other day he was doing some wall work, but he wasn't setting his balance was off, like everything. I'm like, you can sit there and kick a ball against the wall as much as you want, but if you're just reinforcing a bad habit, like, we're here, like, let's see it. Let's try to help virally. Do you find that, Sam?
Honestly, right now, I want my keepers to be reaching out to me more. I don't know if and that's just because I'm like, use me, I'm here, I'm a resource. Use all the other coaches that are available.
Right.
And I don't know if it's an age thing because the primary age that I work with is early high school, and then I also at the college level. I'm like, reach out to me more. What are you doing? Because especially at the college level, I can't reach out to them and tell them what to do. They have to, come to me first. But at the academy level, I do want to get more involved. I'm trying to work on that with the club that I'm with. They're actually going to be doing like player-led sessions. So some of the older goalkeepers are going to be stepping up to lead a Zoom goalkeeper workout with all of the younger goalkeepers. And so I'm going to be tuning in for that. And so I can do, just like you said, making sure that they're still doing the right technique and that they're not just thinking that they're doing it right, but not getting that reinforcement. So
yeah, I mean, I made it like I need to see it. And I don't want to overwhelm these kids. They're in school. They're on Zoom all day long. Like, even with the homework I sent them to analyze, it was a minute and a half of 16 saves. Like, I was like, guys, it's a minute and a half. I didn't ask you to watch a game, So I'm trying to make it as fast and as easy as possible for them. But when I told them I need at least 1 minute of some of your goalkeeper training wall work a week, just so I can see a clip and see if you're doing it properly and reinforcing, guys, come on. And they know how my mind is, we're same bubble here. So I need to see it because I don't want to get back in the fall or in the end of the summer and be like, oh, coach, I was doing wall work every day. And then we're just reinforcing bad habits.
Yeah. And truthfully, I see a lot of that too, in regards to there's no one there to critique them or to help them with that positive reinforcement or just to help them with the specifics of the movements and everything. It's not there. So I love that idea, Saskia. I'm going to quickly change gears. Laurie, I want to go to you on this one. Here in Pittsburgh, with the GK Icon staff, I have 8 goalkeeper coaches. 7 of them are men, and Sam is my lone representative. But that number, unfortunately, seems to, when I talk to people, seems to be realistic in other parts of the country as well. What are your opinions on that, and what do you see?
I see the same thing. I do see the same thing. Now, in my camp situation too, I do try to have a balance. I do have a lot of male coaches and very little female coaches. Not that I don't want the female coaches. They're just not around in the local area that I live in. But besides my training and my camps, when I coach at the regional level or at the national level, no matter what, you don't see that many female goalkeeper coaches. or just female coaches in general. I went to an event in January and it was for girls and an ODP event. It was a national camp event in Tampa, and a lot of male coaches, fantastic male coaches. Some of my very good friends. It's fantastic to see them. It was great, but there was only like 3 or 4 female coaches in that entire event.
Absolutely.
And I wasn't even doing the goalkeeping coach. I was actually hired as the assistant coach, and they brought in one goalkeeper coach that was a female, and the other goalkeeper coach they brought in was a male. Now, I'm sure I know who he is. He's great, but you couldn't tell me they couldn't find one more female coach to bring in, because I know for a fact, I'm sure that they're not going to call me to go into a boys ODP national camp. They're going to bring in all male staff.
That's a great point.
That was upsetting.
It is a great
That was
point.
the only thing that was
That's a great
upsetting.
point.
Because listen,
it should be upsetting. It should be upsetting. Absolutely, Pells.
Yeah, because I'm not going to get a phone call. Hey, Laurie, can you come out to the boys ODP national camp? Again, the male coaches. Let me say this on record. They were outstanding coaches. Why weren't there more female coaches? Why wasn't there another female goalkeeper coach? Why they hire another male goalkeeper coach? Because they're all out there. What happened? Where is everybody?
I'm going to tell you this, and it infuriates me as well. They did a tour with the NWSL, and it was like it was all for promoting women in soccer and equal playing ground, equal playing field. They had an all-star team. Came out to California, scrimmaged, played against UCLA, played an inner squad all-star to help promote. So they're traveling around doing this. Every single coach was a man. Every coach was a man. You're promoting an equal playing ground, equal pay for women, and every single coach for the all-star team was a man. They had my club coach, Kelly Parker, who's, in the Hall of Fame for Canada, and Mel French, as guest coaches that really didn't have a job. And I was just like, who's your goalkeeper coach? I'll come in and help just warm up the goalkeepers. They have a male goalkeeper coach. I was like, and they looked at me going, this is supposed to help support women and women's growth in coaching and sports, and every coach was a man.
What do you change? Let me ask you this. How do you change it? What do you do? And how do you, Sam, we've talked about this all the time. How do we get more female coaches in the local area from an academy level as well as from a college level? And Laurie and Saskia, I'm going to come back to you and with that exact question in 1 second. But Sam, locally, how do we do it?
I think we just need to be giving the female coaches that are there more opportunities. Like Laurie was saying, if there's a chance or if there's an event or something where we have goalkeeper coaches or it's a goalkeeper session, we should be looking for as many female coaches as we can so that we can make them, see that we want them in the game. We want them coaching all the time. We have female players who are looking up to or looking for role models in their position, and we need to just put them in front of them. In terms of starting from the academy, I mean, that's a hard question just because there are a lot of girls playing, but it's just a matter of retaining them. And I think that's a question that's been on everybody's minds, and it's been a hard one to answer because as they progress through high school and into college game, it just sort of stops. The few that do get into the college game, you just don't see too many of them going into coaching profession for whatever reason. And
yeah. To your point about percentages, I mean, you can verify this too. Most of the goalkeepers at GK Icon Pittsburgh are what? Females, right? Like we have hundreds of kids, and 75 to 50% are women and are girls. And you're my only coach. Like that's mind-boggling to me. And to your point, I think Laurie or Saskia, when you said it, it's not because we're not looking. Like we are looking, we just can't find them. Yeah. So Laurie, I'm gonna turn this over to you. Go ahead.
I mean, it's just, I'm not sure why it's like that. We go through college, we play collegiately, and there are players that want to continue coaching. Is that, are they working under a male coach that doesn't give them the opportunities to succeed? Are they feeling inferior? Do they feel like they can be themselves in front of this coach? We need more female role models out there. And I don't know how it's going to happen. I know at the conventions we have luncheons for females, and I don't know. I that's what boggles my mind. In January, there's luncheons for the females and emerging females, and then I go to this national team event, and there's like 4 females there, you know. And again, the male coaches were great, but why is that happening? I don't know. Is it we're getting married and having children? That is difficult. I experienced that being a collegiate coach, having children on the road. You know, it's very hard to have both lives. So maybe that's part of it. But I know there's more young emerging goalkeeper coaches out there that want that chance, that you just have to give them the chance.
Mm-hmm. Saskia, with the women's professionally coming up and being very successful, do you see the women's goalkeeper coach playing a more prominent role?
I'd love to, but I think it comes from the top down. And I think it's still a misogynistic sport here in the United States. It's ridiculous. You're going to sit here and tell me that Julie Faddy wanted to walk onto a men's field and analyze their team, that she doesn't know anything better than a male coach? She's one of the best analysts in the world, male or female. But you're going to go to a man first. Like Pells said, it's point. Would I ever be invited in to coach the men's under-17 national team? What are you, crazy? I'm a woman. And that has to be retaught. Because guess what? I might know 10 times more than their goalkeeper coach, but I'm a woman. So is there a stigma on this? Like, you know, a woman goes and is an assistant offensive coordinator for San Francisco 49ers, and the whole world freaks out, and there's like commercials about it. I mean, what? She doesn't know football? What? She can't know football because she's a woman? Like Lindsey Harding is a basketball coach in the NBA. What? She was one of the best players in the NCAA and played at Duke. I mean, she's a genius. But, oh, my God, Lindsey Harding's in the NBA. Stop. Guys, stop. We're smart. We have a mind. We know the sport. We know how to play. And a lot of times better than you do. So it comes from the top down. We got to have female leaders. I love that we're starting to get that. President, Cindy Parlow, stuff like that. But it's got to come from the top down. You know, I deal with it in my club as well. Like, I have some goalkeepers, and their parents and their fathers are just like hardcore, like, you know, and I can feel it. Like, maybe I don't know what I'm doing. No, your son doesn't know what he's doing because he's not listening. But that doesn't, it's not because I'm not teaching it, okay? And it's not because any male coach wouldn't tell him the same thing. It's just because he's not listening, because for some reason you filled his head with that because I'm a woman, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, you know? Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah. So it's got to change, period. I would love to see a female as an assistant coach for the men's national team. Hello, they suck. So, like, you know, sorry, USA, but the bottom line is, look, why not put a women's coach as an assistant coach or as a goalkeeper coach? Obviously, we win, so maybe change things up a little bit.
Yeah, let's continue with those higher levels and developing female goalkeepers to get to that next level. What's the difference between developing a boy and a girl female goalkeeper and getting them to that next level? And what are the main things that you focus on to get them there? What's your focus on from a training perspective with goalkeepers? Laurie, I'm gonna go back to you. I see your mouth. I see you ready to go.
Yeah, I personally don't do anything different. Good. I love it that the boys come to me. You know, and they come to me because they say that I'm hard, that I'm harder than the male coaches that they have trained with before, that it's all business, and I'm going to push them. So I train the male goalkeepers the same as I train the female goalkeepers. Okay, absolutely. I'm shooting just as hard against the female top high school players that I have, just like I do with the boys that I have. Nothing changes. I am saying the same words, positive reinforcing, but nothing changes with me. So I am developing the goalkeeper as a whole, not a male, not a female, the same. That's it. Perfect. For me.
But absolutely, Laurie, absolutely. And that's how both you and I were brought up. I mean, I trained my entire life with men and with the Rutgers men's team. And we've talked about that on our Inside the 18 podcast. Tim Mulqueen, I trained with Timmy Howard, like Paul Blodgett. Like, these were all my coaches, but I trained with men, and there is no difference. It's the same. It's the same sport. It's the same tactics. It's the same technique, period. So there is nothing. And I do the same thing. I have more male goalkeepers than I do female goalkeepers in club. And obviously I'm with the women at UCLA. But one of my favorite questions was from one of my kids at clubs that said to me, "Oh, awesome, you're coaching at UCLA. Are you coaching the men's team too?" I loved that. Like, I loved it. They were like, are you the goalkeeper coach for both teams? Without question, that I could have been. And that came from one of my kids, and I loved that. And I was just like, I'm with the women, but I love that you asked me that.
Good for you. No, I can appreciate that as well. What do you, Sam, when looking at like academies and our club structure, what do you see a difference in how goalkeepers look at you as a trainer, meaning boys versus girls?
Well, I was going to make this point before. I think a lot of it does come down to how other coaches and parents interact with me. I feel like if they're giving me the respect as a coach, not just a female coach, then the players are going to respect me too. If they see me training all of the kids as hard as a group, then I'm going to get more respect from the kids, boys or girls. And that's what I've seen, because I've experienced where a coach maybe didn't give me the, not saying that I automatically deserved the respect, but he didn't give me, I wasn't feeling like he was accepting that I had this knowledge in this position. And so the players were similarly affected. So when I'm in an environment where I'm just respected as my ability as a goalkeeper coach, not just a male versus female coach, then there's really no difference to me in how the kids perceive my training. Especially as young.
Sam, I totally agree with that. I think one of the best things that I think we probably all three of us do it is if I need a demo, or if I pick out somebody that's doing the drill properly, it's a female or a male. It's whoever's doing it. So if I have 5 male goalkeepers and 2 female goalkeepers for some reason that day, and one of my female goalkeepers is doing the drill properly and I need to show it better, I'm picking that. I'm not automatically saying, hey, watch Daniel, no. Like, it's goalkeeper's goalkeeper. There's no sex involved, period.
Saskia, I was just about to ask you, Saskia, what do you blend your training boys and girls at the same time?
100%.
Me too, 100%. And I know, Laurie, I know you do as well. And it's skill. And I don't even care about age. If there's a 12-year-old that should be playing with the 14-year-olds, they should be. Then you put them up there. It's all about skill and development.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys, we have less than 10 minutes. So I'm literally going to go to, I want to hear advice. If you had to give a goalkeeper, a 10 to 12-year-old girl goalkeeper advice, what would you say to them in today's age and how to get to that next level? Laurie, can I start with you?
Okay, here we go. 10. Well, let's see. That's my daughter. My daughter will be 10 on Fridays, next Friday. So what would I tell her? Listen, again, I don't want to put any 10 to 12-year-old. They're still at the point where, is this the right position for them? A lot of them are still switching back and forth, field, goal. So they're trying to find their ways. Okay, am I going to be a field player? Am I going to be a goalkeeper? Okay, I would tell them this. If you love the position, let's go for it. Okay, let's continue to develop you, though, as a soccer player, not just a goalkeeper, especially at that age. I want them to be a soccer player. I tell that to my kids all the time. Let's not just do goalkeeping because mommy's a goalkeeper coach. Let's just develop you as a soccer player. So I'm going to tell them a couple of things. We're going to still work on your feet, right? We're going to continue to be that. And now we'll start training the basic stuff, the technical stuff. But if you want to proceed to the next level, then we got to continue to focus on the game around the goalkeeping. Okay. And you got to be doing it at 2 to 3 times a week, whether it's one time with your goalkeeper coach, with your team, and at home. So when you start realizing that you want to be, that you have this knack for goalkeeping, well, then you got to be committed to it. Now, there are some 10-year-olds that are committed to it and that want to continue doing it for life. Great. But I still think you need to develop them as a total soccer player, not just a goalkeeper at this age.
Well said. That's a great piece of advice. I like that. Sam, what's your point? What's your advice to someone? Let's bring it to a different age group. Let's go 13 to 15.
Probably the same advice I'd give to a 10 to 12-year-old is be enthusiastic. Every time you get a chance to train, to work out, whatever the case may be enthusiastic, be excited to be there. And I try to get that across in how I'm running my session is I'm enthusiastic because I found that it infects the kids. So come eager to learn, come eager to work your hardest until, you're dripping with sweat and collapse on the ground after the training session. Just do everything you can as hard as you can. And that's how you're going to learn and develop.
Cool. Saskia, go right ahead.
Oh, I don't get an age group?
You want one? I can give you an
No,
age group.
I'm kidding.
13 and older, 15 and older, pick an age.
Everything. No, I agree with all of you guys. I'm not gonna rehash it. I think that if we're taking the player that's starting to say, this is what I want to do. This is whether it's late high school into college. This is me. I want to be a goalkeeper. Number one, be a student of the game. Understand soccer, not just from a goalkeeper perspective. This goes to what Laurie said. Be a soccer player. Understand what goes on the field. Understand positioning. Understand how to organize, and that's the transition that you make once you really decide this is what you want to do. It's not just about standing there and blocking shots. It's about organization, communication, being a natural leader, because all goalkeepers have to be, and being comfortable and stepping up into that. Be an athlete, and you know what? Play other sports. I'm sorry, I'm an advocate for that. Mentally, it gives you a break. It trains other muscles. We can't just do soccer 100% of the time. Yeah. And I never did, and I'm better for it. And I think that have fun. I'm sorry, have fun. I'm not the yeller. I'm not the screamer. I'm positive reinforcement. If you keep doing something wrong, I'll let you know. Yeah. That's what practice is for. And even if you mess up in a game, I'm still gonna, talk to you about it. But be able to self-coach, be able to know what your coach is telling you. And if I come up to you and I say, what happened? Why did this happen? Be able to tell me, be able to learn. So, those are the tools you need to keep moving forward and to get to another level. But have fun, man. It's soccer. It's a game, dude. It's a game.
Saskia, you took it right out of my mouth. And that, I think more people get lost in the seriousness of whatever sport is, and they don't enjoy it. They're not enjoying the moment, and they don't enjoy it typically until it's over. And then they look back and they're like, wow, I was kind of miserable during those times. I see my friends, I see it with my friends all the time, truthfully. And they don't enjoy it until they're looking in the rear view or watching a film. Like, enjoy the moment now. Enjoy this moment right now. And
and it's okay as a goalkeeper to be crazy and enjoy rapid fire. It's okay. Like, it's okay. That's what we do. Like, I love that stuff, but enjoy it. Because when you don't, be honest. And my parents never did that to me. They said, if you're not having fun anymore, and there comes a point, stress is stress, and that's different than not enjoying playing anymore. So make sure you're passionate about it. Make sure you love it, and listen to your coaches.
Cool. You have 30 seconds to wrap up, if we could. Sam, I'm going to start with you, please.
Oh, start with me. There's a lot of ground that we just covered. Mm-hmm. Overall, like I said, I think the pieces of advice or the biggest takeaway that female goalkeepers can take from this is just keep working hard. We all want you to succeed. And we're here to work as hard as you guys are, and we want to see female goalkeepers get better. We want to see them go through high school and into the college game, and if they can go further, then that's awesome. And we want to see you guys become coaches because you love the game as much as the rest of us do and want to share that love of the game. So to all the female goalkeepers out there, just keep working.
Right on. We have 2.5 minutes. Laurie, I'm going to go to you next. Go right ahead. Wrap it up.
Sure. I think, you're emerging goalkeeper, you're emerging female goalkeeper, go for it. We need more role models out there. We need more female role models out there. Okay. So if you're watching this and you're wondering, I wonder if I should get into the world of goalkeeping, go for it. Go get one of your licensing, start with the D, start with the, and start moving up from that way. And that's how you get better. Go to those coaching courses, go to the conventions, go to anything you can to absorb information. And that's how we all got better. That's how we all became collegiate coaches, not overnight, by learning from the best. And then you'll wake your way there. So go for it. It's a great role. I love being a role model to not just boys and girls, but to my children, to anyone. And that's what gives me joy in coaching.
I love that. Saskia, wrap it up for us.
I 100% agree with that. All of you guys. We need you. We need more female coaches. We need more female role models. I do love the fact that you can walk up to somebody on the street and ask them the name right now. 3 female goalkeepers from the U.S. Women's National Team or 3 male goalkeepers, and I guarantee you we'll be able to name 3 female goalkeepers or 3 male goalkeepers. So keep that in mind. The sky's the limit if you want it, but we need the coaches out there, and just train hard, have fun. You know, reach out to all of us. We're all accessible. DM us. You know, ask questions. We're accessible. That's the one thing you have. It's the one thing I love about soccer in the United States, and female soccer in the United States. Just ask. We're here.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Guys, thank you very much. Sam, I see you all the time. I can't wait to see you again on the field when we get out there. Laurie, worked with you a few times. Cannot wait to work with you again. Saskia, we haven't worked together yet, but I am looking forward to that day. I see that glove in the upper corner. Don't you worry about it. Ladies, thank you very much.
Thank you, Eric.
Everybody, tune into our next episode. Thank you very much, everybody. Be safe.
Thank you.
Take care.
Guys, love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.